Hello everybody, it's Dumplet here. Welcome to an item from probability. Find the probability that in 4 flips of a pair of coins, you get at least one flip that ends up in a pair of heads. As usual, pause this video and give this item a try. And if you're done, let us dive into the solution. Now here we have a probability trick. Now since we're asked with the probability that you get at least one flip that ends up in a pair of heads. Now the key words here are at least one. Now at least one meaning it's either 1, 2, 3, or 4, since we have 4 flips as seen in this item. So we can use the concept of complementary counting, which means that we're going to count whatever is not asked in the item. So it's easier for us to count the number of flips that ends up in no pair of heads, than to count the number of times that there's 1 pair of heads, 2 pairs of heads, 3 pairs of heads, and 4 pairs of heads. So in this case, we can use the complementary counting. Note how the question is asking instead that what is 1 less than the probability that you get no pair of heads in all 4 flips, because if you remove the probability that you get no pair of heads in all 4 flips, then you are sure that there is at least 1 pair of heads that would appear in the probability that you got. So, and this is easier to count since we're only asking for the probability of no pairs of heads. So let's try to get this instead and just subtract the probability that we get no heads from 1. Now note how we can think about the question, what's the probability of not a pair of heads in a flip of a pair of coins? Okay, since there are 4 outcomes in a pair, either head-head, head-tail, tail-head, or tail-tail, there are 3 out of those 4 that is not a pair of heads. So if you want to have no pair of heads in all 4 flips of the pair of coins, by the fundamental counting principle, we multiply them we multiply 3/4 4 times, so it's 3/4 to the 4th power. Now 3/4 to the 4th power, this probability right here, is the probability that in all 4 flips of the pair of coins, none of them would land in a pair of heads. But if we go back to the item, we're asked about the probability that at least 1 pair of heads will appear in one of those 4 flips. Since we have the probability of 0 pairs of heads to be 3/4 raised to the 4th power, we can take the complement of this, so we subtract this from 1, and we'll be able to get the answer. So we have 1 minus 3/4 raised to the 4th power, which is equal to 1 minus 81 over 256, and this will give us 175 over 256 as the probability that we'll be able to get 1 pair of heads in one of those 4 flips. And this will be our final answer.